Are you a parent-driven player or are you a player-driven player? You're either like elite, great, good, average, or poor. We don't see many elites. So how do we get more elites? It's tough for you to have your own player-driven mindset to go every day and to make yourself better. How many of these kids are really doing that? And I work with these kids, and there's very few that have that elite mindset to say, and I don't think it's easy. I tell my son all the time, like, we can watch TV, we can play video games, we can eat snacks, we can, go hang out with our friends. So to me, it's, you have to have a player-driven mindset. You have to want this and want to get better and want to work extremely hard at it.
Time out. Let me ask you this. What if the gap between where you are today and where you want to be isn't talent? It's how you're training when no one's watching. That's what this studio podcast is all about. We don't chase motivation. We don't hype potential. We build identity through habits, standards, and systems. This is where student athletes, parents, coaches, and leaders come to sharpen how they think, prepare, and perform. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast. All right, family, isn't it interesting how everyone wants results, but very few are willing to commit to the process? Welcome to the Built Different Studio Podcast, where we don't just talk about success, we train it. Mindset, systems, habits, and this is where champions in sports, school, and life are made. Family, today we've got someone in the studio who's lived every layer of the student-athlete journey. Jeff Lochrie is a former Division I soccer captain, lifelong student-athlete, educator, and leader who's worked with every age group, gender, and ability, always putting athletes first. What I respect most about Jeffrey is this. He understands sacrifice. He captained the UNC Greensboro during a historic season, ranked number 1 in the nation for 6 straight weeks, and competed in the Sweet 16 against UC Santa Barbara, top UC school. But more importantly, he's committed his life to developing people, not just players. He's been in the seat. He's felt the pressure, really felt that pressure, and he stayed loyal to the process long enough to gain real perspective. So today, we're talking dedication, we're talking leadership, we're talking what it truly means to be built different. Family, help me welcome Jeffrey Lochrie. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Coach Randy. It's a pleasure to be on here and looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to have you on our show. Before we dive in, not your resume, not the highlight reel, you. For everyone listening, tell us who you are, your roots, your story, the moments that built you, and because everyone has a beginning. Every champion has a beginning, and I want to hear yours.
Sure. I'm the baby brother of 3 brothers who grew up in Austin, Texas. I'm a soccer player, or we call football. All sports growing up, baseball. So,
okay.
I lived in Austin my whole life. I played for the Longhorn Soccer Club, which was just soccer wasn't that big. There was more football. I did Olympic development, starting in probably 7th, 8th grade, which was a huge factor in me getting recruited back in that point. It's still out there. It's Olympic development program. It's changed a little bit, but that opportunity, I made the state team, which was South Texas at the time, which took me to Alabama every summer with the regional groups from all the states in that region. You played with your state team and competed against all the other state teams. My junior year.
You played at the next level after high school.
Say that one more time.
You played at the next level after high school?
Correct. And that's what kind of got me the ODP. I went to France with that program with the regional team. I actually ended up on the Adidas All-American team my senior year of high school, which was it was pretty much like the national pool team for the U17s. I got recruited.
That's very, very competitive, right?
Super competitive. I think that's kind of what this program talks about a little bit from what I see. And, being the one kid from Austin, Texas, playing with a lot of kids from Dallas and Houston,
Yeah.
The competition, I mean, it was fight for your life every day. It was competing. I got to go to Cocoa Beach, and that's where I was recruited to play at UNCG. We did all 4 regional teams from the U.S. went, if you made the regional team. And Coach Michael Parker was there and came up to me after one of the games and said, "Hey, I want to fly you out." Didn't really know much about it. Went out there and fell in love with the university and the soccer specific school.
That's amazing.
And, I went to school there. I played a little semi-pro after around North Carolina, up in Wilmington, North Carolina, Carolina Railhawks in Raleigh. Soccer's a tough thing. Professional sports are a tough thing. I wasn't getting the things kind of that I wanted. I was kind of losing my passion for the game. Fell into coaching some younger kids, decided to go back to school and get my health and physical education teacher licensure, and kind of fell into place after that. I realized the professional dream was maybe something that was going to be not realistic for me to support a family, right? But I tried, which I think is maybe one of the reasons you have me on here. I've seen every aspect of it. I've seen making a team, but not playing. I've seen not making a team. The commitment levels, where your mindset has to be. That's kind of my journey. I've had ups and downs. I love the game of soccer. I love sports. I love relating sports to these kids in life.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Now, Jeffrey, thanks for sharing that. You've been a student athlete at every stage, and I think you're also a captain at the Division I level as well. What was the moment that made you realize your purpose was bigger than just playing, that you were meant to lead, teach, and build people? When did that happen? You alluded to that a little bit.
I think it was probably by my 5th year at UNCG. So my 4th year, my senior year, I hurt my knee, the 3rd game of the season. So, medical red shirts. It was an MCL sprain, but it was a bad one.
Oh, wow.
I kept trying to come back.
I was out the whole season.
So I tried. Parker was pushing me to come back. But I kept tweaking it. I was doing a lot of pool work. I mean, they were killing me. But there were just certain things. I'd strike a ball and it would just tweak. And so about towards the end of the season, I felt kind of worthless, right? I'm not going to be able to play again. I went to him. I talked with my parents first, and I just said to them, "Hey, I found out that it's the 20% that I can still ask for a medical red shirt." And I said, I know Parker, and he probably wouldn't like to hear this on this, but I knew he would be hesitant. I was on a full scholarship that year. And so for me to go to him and say, "Hey, I'm not ready to come back this year. I want another year." My parents supported me. They were willing to, if they needed to pay the tuition, would help for that 5th year. I was going to graduate in 4.5. He didn't want it. He told.
What was your major at the time?
My major at the time was criminal justice and sociology.
Nice. Okay,
so
got it.
I like sociology because it was human interaction. It was I did a lot of child development classes. I think it was a wise decision for what I'm doing now. I think it really helped me learn about the kid, the developmental stages, stuff like that. But Parker didn't want me to come back. He tried to tell me, "Oh, I have all these recruits coming in. I don't have any money for you." I was prepared. And said, my parents are willing to support it. So he didn't give me any money. He let me get my medical red shirt. And at that moment, he told me, and he knew how to get to me. This was going to be my 5th year. So, I'm like his child. And he says, "I don't think you'll even play next year. With the recruits I have coming in," right? And I'm a captain. I was captain of the team this year, but I was hurt.
Wow. That's adversity.
And I looked at him and I said, "Coach, I completely understand. I'll take my chances." And that summer, man, you talk about somebody going after something that they were going to prove everybody wrong. That was my summer. And
Okay.
Being the captain the year before, I was hopeful that I could get that again. And so in that summertime, I was in charge of workouts and I got everybody to stay. It just felt different that year. I don't know why, but we were a
Sure.
family.
Sure. Yeah.
I think I treated everybody how I wanted to be treated. And I mean, it showed that in the record, we were 16-0-1, beat 4 ACC schools that year. We were good, but we were better people and a better team.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Now I like that. That really resonates with me in terms of, you may not be the best, but you can be a better team and be better people. And that shows on the court, right? So that perspective you just shared about responsibility, ownership really stood out to me. Let's build on that. And when you think about that leadership moment, it naturally brings us to pressure and adversity. You helped lead a program ranked #1 in the nation and played in the Sweet 16. But what was that one moment when things got hard? I know you talked a little bit about the injury, but when you had to sacrifice comfort and dig deeper to keep going, whether it's mental, personal, in school, what was that moment?
Probably that 5th year. You ask these questions and this one always stands out to me. And this is where, as you get older and you look back at your coaches, right? And sometimes, oh God, like, ugh. But I'll say that Michael Parker was probably one of the coaches that probably got the most out of me, even though there were times where I did not like what he said. But when you look back, I don't think he was lying. As a coach, your job is to get the best out of each one of your players, not just this one or that one. And, what he did to me was that. And he said, I remember it was, we played, I think 4 games and I was doing okay. I was starting, I was the center mid, I was captain. We hadn't lost. He brought me into his office before we played Wake Forest. And Wake Forest had 6 guys on their team that I played on Carolina Dynamo with the previous summer, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
In a league called PDL. So
they were really, really good.
Right. So there were 6 guys from Wake, 6 guys from Carolina, 2 from UNCG. Right. So but he brought me in and he's like, hey, we've been thinking about not starting you. And I'm like, I haven't felt great about my performance all year, but I knew I was playing all right. But there was something missing. And he said, we're missing something from you, this and that. And I cried in there. I remember, I was emotional. And he said, but we're not. We're gonna give you this one more game. And man,
you took it, huh?
I took it.
Yeah, the moment, man.
We beat them 2-1 at their place.
2-1.
And
wow.
Man, I'm not the greatest soccer player, but the greatest warrior you've ever seen in your life.
Oh man, I love it, man. Just that, that dog in you, right? I can't explain how many times you can't develop dog in a player.
Right.
And that resilience you described is powerful, especially for young athletes listening right now, which makes me curious about the daily habits behind your mindset that you're talking about. So if you had to point to one habit or system that separates committed student athletes from everyone else, what would it be? And if a young athlete did that starting today, how would their future change?
I think, to break it into simple terms, I read, you see all these motivational guys and these quotes and all this stuff. And one guy said, are you a parent-driven player or are you a player-driven player?
Oh, okay.
And to me, right now, where we're at, there's another guy says, you're either like elite, great, good, average, or poor. We don't see many elites, right? So how do we get more elites? Well, it's tough for you to have your own player-driven mindset to go every day and to make yourself better. How many of these kids are really doing that? It snowed here for 2 weeks, right?
Okay.
My son's a really good soccer player. How many days has he been out to run?
Love it.
Right?
Yeah.
So to me, and I work with these kids, and there's very few that have that elite mindset to say, And I don't think it's easy. I tell my son all the time, like, we can watch TV, we can play video games, we can eat snacks, we can, go hang out with our friends. So to me, you have to have a player-driven mindset. You have to want this and want to get better and want to work extremely hard at it. And some days probably really feel the pain.
For sure. Now, I say that to all my parents. I mean, not parents, but also more the players about, you can't do, the hype, your confidence comes from the work you put in, not from the outside noise, not from the parents that tell you, right? But also the work that you put in is going to show. And that's gold, what you shared, especially the part about consistency over motivation, the elite mindset. And behind every habit, there's usually someone who helped shape it, right? Or shape that for you. Who poured into you along the way? Who helped shape your standards? And what lesson from them still guides how you lead today?
Oh, Randy, I think so many, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think the goods are, okay, the elites, and I can't say that I'm elite, so to say great. The greats take the goods and the bads.
Okay.
From
Man,
those.
that's a phrase I want to put that on a t-shirt. We're going to sell it together.
Let's do it.
What is that phrase again? Say that again.
The greats, they take it from the goods and the bads. I can't even say it again. But I feel like as I've gone through these stages in my life, you're associated with different people, whether they're your coach or then they're your player, or then they're your athletic director, or they're your club administrator. Everybody has something to give. And I think I've taken a lot of, so Captain Elite, I'll give him a shout out, was a guy I worked for. He was a supplemental training soccer program. Tried to do a lot of stuff online, but things that I didn't like about it, of course, not enough hands-on instruction and stuff, but there were a lot of things that I took from that program. I think one of the ones we just talked about, if it is to be, it's up to me.
I love that. If it is to be, it's up to me.
Yep. And that was a Captain Elite. So Mike Keating was his name, but he had this, and that was one of his main slogans, quotes that these kids were going after. And man, I loved it. I really, really sold that quote because it's so true. It's not up to mom and dad. It's, there are certain things where if you don't have these parents and these resources, right, it's tough. But deep down, if you want to get better at something, it's up to you.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. So I love how you honored your, call it mentors, something to give. That's leadership, right? And which sets us up perfectly for the next generation. So you've seen where youth sports and education are headed. What's the one mindset or standard you want today's student athletes to carry? Something that would truly make them built different. You talked a little bit about it, but expand more.
And you're out there on the West and we're out here on the East Coast. I work at a 1A small little charter school. I don't see a lot of what we would call high caliber athletes. You know what I mean? But I have athletes. So my job is how do I develop and prepare these kids as a PE teacher to live a physically active lifestyle?
Okay. Got it.
Healthy, right? But then on the other hand, I coach soccer. I coached our middle school basketball team. Do I have NBA players coming up or D1 college players? No, I really don't. And we talk about this, but I do have some D3 players or some kids that could go play at that next level. So balancing that, with honesty and I kind of lost a little track of the question. Sorry, Randy. But
no, I understand. No, I hear what you're saying. Just about being able to compete and being able to parents be honest with where you are at. Right? I have the same thing where I have players and parents that they think they're going professional in the next 3 days, right? And I want them to have that goal. But in reality, you're right. They're probably not going to make the NBA, but there are some good D3, D2 schools that they can go to.
Right. And so I think it's being open and honest about those conversations with kids and their parents from the get-go. It's building those relationships. that go
Sure.
beyond the
Yeah.
field. How many of my student athletes come back and visit and want to be a part of this, or I help them with referee certification. I have a kid that I coached when he was U11 to U14 in soccer, and now he's one step away from being a Major League Soccer referee. So
Wow.
it's not just the game. These kids have opportunities to be involved in the games or the sport themselves, whether playing or not playing. It's like I said, I should have been a referee early on, because then I could have made it to the World Cup. As a player, I wasn't going to make it. I mean, I tried, but if I referee now too, because I want to know what it's like to be that referee and to have to deal with people like me. And it's made me a better coach.
Yeah, I want to share that a little bit further in terms of making it to that next level. I had a guest a couple weeks back, Larry Williams. He was a chaplain for the LA Clippers, and he played basketball, played sports. But
Nice.
One thing that kind of gave me the chills was he said one of the games that he was at the LA Clippers, he had a friend come in and he said, "Hey, you made it. You made it to the NBA, right? Whether you're a player, you're a coach, you're a referee, you're a chaplain, right? He made it to the NBA. So there's different paths." Jeff, one more question I have for you is, I know we touched on a lot of things, but I want to kind of give the floor to you in terms of, is there anything else that you want to cover or share with our audience members? It could be sports related, school related, your school, your program. I just want to put that on blast and really highlight, again, everything that you're doing. Is there anything you want to share with our listeners that we haven't covered?
I wrote down a couple little notes just from some of the pre-planned questions. I'd say to these kids now, don't get all bent out of shape and all this anxiety, and if you don't know what you want to do. But make sure that you want to do something. You don't need to know exactly what it is, but have dreams and desires. I work with these kids too much now, and I feel that a lot of them don't have the dreams and desires because they're scared. They're scared to not be able to get it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I would say failure is a part of life. Failure is a part of every aspect: job, family, school, anything you do, there's going to be failures in those situations. And how do you overcome those failures is what's going to shape you and help you grow into those things that you're dreaming of. Without the dreams and the failures, there won't be anything that comes true. So, like we talked about, it's not just pushing them to be a Division I athlete or that. It's getting to know them and guiding them into the things that will help them be successful, which is, I think, why I've chosen the student or the teacher, coach, student thing over the club soccer, because I don't get to know these kids as much twice a week at an hour and a half practice. Like, I get this kid in PE class, I get him for advisory, I get him at lunchtime, and then I get him after school for practice. Our system, especially in soccer right now, is, the clubs are offering the elite soccer, but they're not building the elite relationships to help these kids.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear on that. Jeffrey, I appreciate you, your honesty, your leadership, and the way you continue to serve young people. Family, that was a real one. Jeffrey didn't just talk about soccer today. He showed us what the commitment actually looks like. Sacrifice, standards, responsibility, and the discipline to put students, athletes first. From Division I captain to educator and mentor, what stands out is this: excellence is built quietly, daily, and intentionally. So athletes, remember this: progress doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from the habits you repeat. Coach Jeffrey talked about making mistakes, failures, right? Learning from that. Parents, development takes time and environment matters. Support that. Coaches, we don't just teach sport, we shape lives. Coach Jeff talked about how much time he spends on club versus having a student all throughout the day. Jeffrey, thank you again for your work you do, the things that you continue to do for the next generation. You talked about relationships, honesty, If you don't know what you're doing yet, it's okay, but do something. I love that. Dreams and desires. Don't be scared. Okay, I'm going to put some of these on t-shirts, so we're going to sell them online. Family, if this episode gave you something, share it with someone who needs it. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast. Handle today with intention. That's how champions are built. Family, today was about commitment. And here's the truth. In order to accomplish consistency, confidence, and college readiness, you need exactly structure, mindset training, habits, systems, and strategic planning. And that's what we talk about here. If you're a student, athlete, or parent ready to stop guessing and start building, apply to be on the show. Watch and listen to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. We're all on social media. Handle today with intention. That's how champions are built. Fight on. Jeffrey, thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Randy, man. You keep being a champion. I appreciate it. And great show, great information.
Perfect. Thank you.
Remember this, family. Talent might open the door, but your mindset, your habits, and your discipline decide how far you go. So keep showing up, keep building, and keep choosing the harder road, because that's the one that makes you built different. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast.